Hello there, Brother Mike coming to you with Holy Hunkerdown 4.1. I want to talk to you about two important things today. First of all, I want to talk to you about our Easter celebration that's happening tomorrow. Make sure everybody knows about the plans. And then I want to talk to you about the identity of Jesus. So the first thing I want to do is make sure that everybody understands that tomorrow's worship celebration of Easter is planned for 10:30 for the Whitesboro High School parking lot. And I know there's rain in the forecast. There's a pretty good chance of rain tomorrow morning. Of course, it was supposed to be raining this morning as well, and it's sunny. So, but we do have a plan B. Plan B is that if it's raining in the morning, I will make a decision by 9:15. I'll post something on Facebook. We'll post it on our website. We'll send out text messages. Plan B is we'll meet at 5 p.m. at the high school, and we'll celebrate Easter just like we were going to at 10:30 tomorrow morning. So be sure and spread the word on that. Be sure and share this post. Comment on it, share the post. That's the way we get the word out. So I just want to make sure that we do that. The second thing, more importantly, what I want to talk to you about is the identity of Jesus. You know, I've noticed that after a lot of years, more than I care to admit in the ministry, that most people, when you talk to them about the identity of Jesus, they go to one or two places. They go to Bethlehem and they see Jesus as that newborn baby lying there in a manger with Joseph and Mary, three kings kneeling before him, bringing those gifts. Maybe some barnyard animals are around there as well. And they identify with Jesus as a baby, or they go to the end of his earthly ministry and they see Jesus on the cross. There are many world religions that kind of their symbol is a crucifix, a picture of Jesus hanging on the cross. And that's always bothered me because, friends, he is not on the cross. That was a very temporary thing that happened where he paid for our sin, but he is not on the cross and he is not in the tomb. And tomorrow we're going to celebrate the fact that he is risen and he is alive. But when I think about the identity of Jesus, I almost always automatically go to the Gospel of John. You know, when Moses was receiving his assignment to go to Pharaoh, he asked God a question. He said, what if they ask me, who sent you? What do I say? Who are you? And God said these words, I am who I am. And then we go to the New Testament in the Gospel of John. We find Jesus giving the people and giving us those same words, I am, in 7 different statements that he makes about himself. The first one he says is in John 6:35, where he says, I am the bread of life. That talks about sustenance. In the New Testament times, when Jesus talked about praying for daily bread was a round cake about 7 inches around and about a ½ inch thick. And in that one cake was all the sustenance a person needed to get through that day. And when Jesus says he is our daily bread, he is saying, I will carry you through. I'm your sustenance. I'm what you need for this day. The second I am statement that Jesus made is that he said, I am the light of the world. And this represents guidance in this world filled with darkness, filled with doubt. We need a light that shines to tell us where to go. And Jesus is saying, I am that light. And if you follow me, you won't walk in darkness, but you'll have the light of life. The third statement that Jesus gives is in John 10:7. He says, I am the door of the sheep. And this is very interesting to me because in the New Testament times, especially in Palestine, they had sheep pens that were made of rocks. Everywhere you go in Israel, there are rocks. And they would stack these rocks up and make kind of a round enclosure. And they would leave about 5 to 5.5 feet wide as the door with nothing there. And what would happen is when the shepherd would be out grazing his flocks and he would call them in to the sheep pen, and then the shepherd would do something incredible. His sheep would come into the pen, and then the shepherd would lay down, and he literally became the door. And that way, if anything was going to attack the sheep, it had to first come through the shepherd. And so when Jesus says, I am the door, it represents for us intimacy and protection. the shepherds would call their sheep by name. They would come into the sheepfold, and then he would lay down there at the door where they could not go out or nothing else could come in. And Jesus does that same thing for us. He protects us in the intimacy of our relationship. The next statement Jesus makes is just right down the page in John 10:11. He says, I am the good shepherd. And this represents leadership. If you've ever been down in sheep country in Texas, you'll see them driving sheep as they're a herd instead of a flock. And they may be on four-wheelers or on horseback or on foot, and they're yelling, and they're just driving the sheep like a herd of wild animals. But when I was in Israel, I noticed something. When we got down to sheep country, I noticed that the shepherds, they walk in front of their sheep, and the sheep follow them. And so when Jesus says to us, I am the good shepherd, he's saying, just follow me. Let me be the leader of your life, and I'll take care of all your needs. The next thing that Jesus says is in John 14:6. He says, I am the way, the truth, and the life. And this represents for us meaning. Our life has no eternal meaning without Jesus Christ. And that sounds a little bit exclusive. Jesus saying, I am the way, I am the truth, I am the life. And if that sounds offensively exclusive to you, I offer no apologies, because in reality, Jesus is saying, I am the only way that you can find true life. And all these other world religions are offering something that's false, offering something that's only temporary. And Jesus offers us eternal life. The next to last statement Jesus makes in John 15:1, he says, I am the vine, and my Father is the vineyard keeper. And this represents success, because true success in the Christian life can only be found as we stay attached to the Father through Jesus, the true vine. And the last thing that I want to point out to us in the statements of Jesus, in John 11:25, Jesus, of course, speaking to Lazarus' sisters after he had died and been in the grave, he said to them, I am the resurrection and the life. And the one who believes in me, even if he dies, will live. And so Jesus is our eternal life. He is our only hope of eternal life. And tomorrow, we're going to celebrate his resurrection. We're going to celebrate the hope we have in our own resurrection, which is coming. So I'll see you tomorrow, either at 10:30 or if it's raining at 5 p.m. And we're going to celebrate the resurrection and the identity of Jesus Christ. Bless you.